Let me teach you something about my positive replacement theory. Not positive reinforcement, positive replacement. And it's a simple concept. It simply means you are replacing what you don't want with what you do want. And you'll see this lesson in life. A lawn, for example. I wrote something on sometimes we just need to plant more grass rather than trying to focus on the weeds. And the lawn companies have realized that as well. So they sell weed and feed. We need to take care of the problems, but we need to replace them with a healthy lawn and feed that lawn. You know, in Scripture, Paul was talking to the Philippians and he said, whatsoever things are good and lovely and of good report, think on these things. He was telling people to think about what you want to think, not what you don't want to think. In meditation, though I don't do that very well, I've learned that to quiet your mind is not to just simply empty it, but to put something there that you can focus on, the Om or some phrase or some mantra. And when you focus on that, it eliminates the other. It's such a simple concept, isn't it? If you don't want to think about a watermelon, you don't keep saying, I'm not going to think about a watermelon. I'm not going to think about a watermelon. Why? Because every time you say that, you're thinking of a watermelon. Instead, you think of grapes. And when you think of grapes and you focus on grapes, you're not thinking about a watermelon. Now, I've seen this happen so many times in companies where they are working on the problems that they want to eliminate. You do that and you're playing whack-a-mole. You've got this problem under control by dictatorial decree, and it doesn't change the systemic issue. I've taught this over and over and over again, and it works because I've used this principle over and over and over again. And that is, if you want teamwork, you do not focus on the symptoms of lack of teamwork. You focus on building and implementing and living the elements of high-performing teamwork. And when you do that, it eliminates the symptoms of the lack of teamwork. It eliminates the problems. So this principle is something I call the positive replacement theory. And you can use it in your own life. What do you want to get rid of? If you want to lose weight, you don't focus on the overweightedness. I like to make up words. You focus on what you want. When you focus on what you want, then your mind, soul, body, spirit aligns around that. Now, there are some spiritual beliefs that believe that if you focus on it strong enough, long enough, or clearly enough, that it will manifest in your life. And I think there's some truth to that dynamic. The point of this little training is simple. Obviously, you need to identify what you don't want, but don't focus on it. Focus on what you want. I was working with a company that's owned by a family here just recently. And this family had dysfunctional family dynamics. And they kept trying to fix each other by discipline, by having these hash out sessions, and it wasn't working. They hired me to come and help their business and their family dynamics, and I put this practice into place. I said, first of all, let's agree that we want the business to succeed. Is that true? And they said yes. Next, let's agree that when you're working in the business, you fulfill a specific role. And it's not the role of brother, father, cousin. It's not those roles. It's the role of CFO. It's the role of chief operations officer. It's the role of project manager. And those roles must be separate from family dynamics. Do you agree? And they said yes. And then we built a list of agreements that any corporation, any business would build around how those roles interact. And that was the calibration point. It wasn't fixing the family dynamics. It was replacing the family dynamics with high-performing team dynamics. Use this principle in your personal life. Use it in your business. Use it with your team. Focus on what you want, and that will eliminate what you don't.